The reason that the UK is taking so many immigrants is not because they're trying to be good people or anything like that. And I can't believe that the bigoted people in the UK still don't understand why the UK is bringing in so many immigrants. Literally has to do with the UK trying to eliminate middle class. They literally just want to have rich people and poor people. They don't want to have a middle. And immigrants is exactly how they're going to do it, because they're going to bring in these people from third world countries that will accept very low salaries and work very long hours and will do the jobs that British people in the UK would never do. And because they're accepting these minuscule wages, they will be making the rich people so much money. Have you ever seen a rich British person ever complain about immigrants? They would never complain about it because they know at the end of the day it's going to benefit them.
This is something ministers do not want you to know about, but I think I've stumbled on a real explanation for why this Labour government is doing nothing to try to curb the thousands of people crossing the channel illegally every month. More than 1,000 in January alone, a 30% increase in the last year. Because tucked away in the government's new borders, security, asylum and immigration bill is the revelation that they're going to overturn all the Tories' attempts to stop illegal migrants coming here and claiming settled status, which could then lead to them claiming British citizenship. Labour are going to quietly try to reverse that. They've got a huge majority of 165, so they'll be able to do it. What it means is all those people crossing the channel, even when their asylum claims are rejected, or even if they're not rejected, they will eventually say they've been here so long they can claim settled status, British citizenship, and you know what's coming next? And then they'll probably be able to apply to get the vote. Penny dropped. So let all these people pour in and they'll be very grateful. So when they do get to become British citizens and they get the vote, they'll vote Labour. We found you out, Keir Starmer.
Two-tier Keir's done it again. Sentences for immigration offenders are about to get watered down under new guidelines by the Sentencing Council approved by Labour's Ministry of Justice. It means that hundreds of illegal migrants are going to escape automatic deportation every single year. I raised the alarm. I even produced a bill that would have stopped this. But what did Labour do? They voted down the bill. It means that our borders are going to get blown even further apart. Under this Labour government, the only people who seem to benefit are trade unionists, criminals being let out early from prison, and illegal migrants.
In 2003, Keir Starmer won the case that gave illegal migrants access to UK benefits. 20 years later, we're living in the chaos he created. We're preparing for wars we may never fight, while thousands illegally cross our borders every month with full legal protection. This isn't defence, it's surrender.
I'm fuming. Tell me why a government thinks illegal immigrants deserve a place to live more than you. Because that's exactly what's happening. A new scheme is being rolled out, offering landlords financial incentives to rent their properties to illegal immigrants. Meanwhile, ordinary British citizens are priced out, locked out, left on waiting lists and abandoned. Veterans sleeping rough, ignored. Families squeezed by insane rents, ignored. Young people who can't even dream of getting on the property ladder, ignored. But cross our borders illegally? Boom! The government finds you a nice place to stay, funded by your taxes. This isn't kindness. This isn't compassion. This is betrayal. This is a deliberate effort to replace loyalty with dependency, to reward those who break the law while crushing the very people who built this country. And what does Labour do? They don't just look the other way, they actively enable it. They're selling us out, not by accident, but by design. If you're tired of being treated like second-class citizens in your own country, if you're tired of watching our leaders prioritise everyone except us, then welcome to news, views and uncomfortable truths. We don't sugarcoat reality, we rip the mask off. Stay with us, because the real fight is only just beginning.
When illegal immigrants arrive in Britain, they're often placed in free hotels, offered housing and given services that many of our own people struggle to get. But ask yourself this, if you or I were to go to a different country, would we be offered the same treatment? Would we be welcomed with free accommodation food, and legal support. No, we'd be detained, deported, or even worse. So why is it that our own people, veterans, the homeless, families struggling to survive, why is it that we are left behind in our own country? Now, this is not about hate. It's about fairness. It's about equality and standing up for what's ours. It's about asking, when did putting Britain last become acceptable? When did standing up for your own people become something that you're not allowed to say? It's about time to speak up, not out of division, but out of unity and bringing each other together. This is about putting the British people first in Britain, in our own country. Just as Donald Trump is putting the Americans first, making sure the Americans are okay. Britain needs balance. Britain needs a backbone. And most importantly, Britain needs us.
The Britain I grew up in was the most peaceful, the most gentle, homogenous society that has ever existed. Why we did not need identity cards, why there are extraordinarily low levels of crime, such high levels of public trust. That has been destroyed. It has been deliberately destroyed by Tony Blair and New Labour with this absurd notion that they were going to force us to become multi-ethnic for our good. They were going to rub the noses of the whites in the dirt. And sorry, we've got to understand that. It is an act of such inconceivable national self-harm.
You say you've not paid your TV licence.
But I don't need a TV licence.
Yes, you do. You've got a TV.
Well, yes, I have a TV, but I don't watch live or anything like that.
It don't matter. You got BBC on your TV.
Well, yeah, but I don't watch it. I watch Netflix. I watch YouTube, Amazon.
You still have to pay your TV licence, and you have to let me in and show you.
I can't. I'm not going to let you in my house just to see that. I don't need to pay it. All I do is watch Netflix, YouTube, and Amazon. That doesn't mean I have to pay it.
See on your TV.
You're on my property, and I need you to leave.
I need to put this through your letterbox.
I'm not going to pay it.
I'm going to put this through your letterbox.
You need to get off my property.
Well, you're watching the government's property.
Well, this is my house.
This is your house, and you're watching BBC in your house.
I'm not watching BBC. Yes, I have it on there. Doesn't mean I'm watching it. Therefore, I don't have to pay a TV licence for something I'm not watching.
If you've got BBC on your TV, you need to pay your licence.
But I'm not watching it.
It doesn't matter. You've got BBC.
I don't see the point of me paying for it.
I'm afraid it's the law. I'm going to post this to you.
Since 1946, we've been forced to pay for a TV licence. Yeah, 1946, back when people were rationing butter and watching TV in black and white. But guess what? They're about to shake things up again. Right now, it's one licence per household. But hold on to your mates, because they're about to hit us with a plot twist. The new plan: ditch a TV licence and replace it with a general tax. Translation: every working man and woman gets to pay individually. Oh joy! Instead of the £170 per household, it's £170 per working adult. For a family of two, that's £340 a year, because apparently we're all made of money. But wait, is this fair? Should Aunt Karen, who hasn't watched TV since 2003, have to pay for this? I mean, she's been busy posting Minion memes on Facebook anyway. Supporters say it's modern. Critics like myself say it's just another way to squeeze every single penny out of us. Honestly, it's giving taxation with representation vibes. With everyone streaming Netflix and dodging traditional TV, the current system is definitely on life support. But is this the right solution, or just another way to make us pay for stuff that we don't even use? Let's be real. I'm not happy about this, and I bet most of you aren't either. So here's the big question. Is there anything to stop this from going ahead? Here's what we can do. Sign petitions against the change. Write to our MP and let them know how we feel. Share this video and spread the word, because the more people who know, the harder it is for them to push things through. This isn't just about a TV licence, it's about fairness. So let's make some noise and stop this from happening. What do you think? Drop your comments. and let's get organised, and I'll see you in the next video.
I literally get this comment all the time. Do you really need a TV license to watch TV in the UK? Short answer is yes. Any live TV or anything that's been broadcast on television, you need to have a TV license legally to watch it. I think a TV license is like £159 for the year. I don't really know why you need one. Like, I couldn't tell you. You just do. It doesn't include things like Netflix or I think like Amazon Prime and things like that. But then if you're like catching up on TV shows like on demand, like ITV Hub, BBC, iPlayer, people in America may not know what those things are. I don't know. But you need a TV license to watch them. Like before you watch a TV show, before you sign into your account on like iPlayer, which is like a streaming service, it'll say, do you have a TV license? So yeah, I hope that answered your question.
I just got caught out by TV license. The only programme I watch, is ITV. And he's at my door and he's like, it's pinging you don't have a TV licence, but it's recently been cancelled. I thought I was paying my TV licence, so obviously, it's changed. No money's been in my bank, basically, blah, 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 yeah, because I get paid on different days now. And he's just said, I need to know what you watch. This geezer stood in my house for like 15 minutes, getting me to flick through my fucking TV. I'm watching ITV News, mate. You know what I mean? I'm watching ITV News. And I was like, I don't watch it. It's just, I was trying to black the shit out of it. And then he was like, I need to read out your rights. Something you rely on in court. Anything you do say may be given in evidence. I'm sat here in me Marvel jams, right? Me Marvel trousers, looking like a sloth. Something about solicitors as well. I was just like, just set me up the TV licence. Anyway, he goes, we set up a payment plan. Because you used to pay it before, but I used to pay it weekly. Now I've got to pay it monthly on the time of the month I get paid, you know? And he's like, yeah, it'd be £13. I watch ITV, one channel. £13 to watch channel. Just so I can watch Big Brother. I don't watch anything else. £13. 13 quid to watch TV. Anyway, beside the point. And then he was like, I need sort code and account number. I said, can't I ring up and give that? He was like, I need sort code and account number. I couldn't get out of it. I was like, dude, what if I don't watch it? He said, well, we'll be checking now. And I like to watch Big Brother. So when Big Brother's finished, I'm going to cancel it and never watch one ITV channel again. The man. I felt like a criminal sat here watching the news. In my Marvel job. Why did he answer the door? For fuck's sake. Savage, man. And you know what makes it 10 times worse, right? This geezer stood asking me all my details, yeah? And Pope Francis is on display. On the news, and I'm there trying not to piss myself laughing because I'm like, why is Pope Francis being, and this geezer's just stood not even funny. I hate my life.
Find the TV licensing people an absolute joke. I don't watch BBC programmes, I don't watch TV, I just watch Netflix, Amazon Prime, ITV Player, you know, like those sorts of things. Don't watch the BBC iPlayer or normal TV. So ages ago I thought, why am I paying like £12 something a month for something that I don't even use? So I cancelled it. This was like 3 or 4 months ago, probably even longer. Filled out a form online to say that I don't use it, I'm cancelling my licence, I'm not eligible. You know, I get this letter, only 10 days to go. You haven't got a lot of time, so we'll keep this short. Your TV licence has been cancelled, despite our recent attempts to contact you. I've had no emails, no phone calls. We have cancelled your licence because you have not paid for it. To sort it out, please call us within 10 days of the letter date shown above. If you do not sort out your licence, we'll schedule an enforcement visit. Our officers can call daytime or evenings, even at the weekend. If no one answers, they can come back. Act now to avoid that knock on your door. You're risking prosecution and £1,000 fine. The penalties for getting caught without a TV licence are severe. So I gave him a little phone call, didn't I? And I said, I have told you I don't need a TV licence. The letter is a little bit extreme, seeing as this is the first time I'm hearing about it. Within 5 minutes, they've cancelled, not even that, they've cancelled the TV licence for 2 years, saying that basically, I don't watch TV, it's all fine, ignore any other future letters, it's all been sorted. But I'm just like, why does the BBC charge people anyway to watch their... I don't understand, like, no one else does it. And to be so, like, about it, like, off. I think that's so rude. Like, imagine if you were, like, an old person or something like that. Or you were young, single, living at home and you got a letter like that. I just think it's really weird. Like, if anyone can explain to me, like, why the TV licence is even a thing. Like, the BBC is shocking anyway. BBC iPlayer, like, never bloody works. I just explained, like, you know, I watch Netflix, Amazon Prime, I watch Disney Plus. Like, I genuinely don't watch TV. And I don't think many people of my generation, late 20s, early 30s, even watch TV anyway. A tip, if you're wanting to save some money, cancel your TV licence and get Disney Plus instead. For cheaper, you know, you don't have to pay it. If you don't watch live TV and you don't watch BBC iPlayer, cancel your TV licence. Like, it's a scam. It actually is a scam.
I'm fuming. I want to know what you lot think about this. So if we watch live TV, we have to get a TV licence, even though it's the BBC, because they don't have ads, so we pay for the BBC, which I don't actually know anyone that watches anything on BBC. But I don't watch live TV. I watch Netflix and Disney. And now Labour is saying that to watch Netflix and Disney, etc., you have to have a TV licence. This is pre-recorded films, pre-recorded series. I understand if you watch some on live, I get that. But for me to watch a film that was made 2013, I need a TV licence. Even though I'm already paying the subscription to watch Netflix. What are they going to tax it on next? Breathing. Netflix and Disney and all the other streaming services should sue. They're basically charging you to have internet in your house. The Labour government are disgusting and they should be ashamed of themselves. What do you think about this?
Story time. So I've been getting last month now about 5 or 6 letters from TV licence, and that's fine because I understand I don't pay it. So yesterday I took it upon myself, and this was yesterday, a genuine story. Yesterday I took it upon myself to ring them. I was like, right, what's the crack? And I go through this, you know, the selections of, do you want to upgrade? No, I just want to speak to someone. So half an hour goes by, and we finally get to the bit where we will pass on to one of our agents. And the reality is, I spent half an hour, and then I got to that bit, and they were just like, sorry, none of our agents are available to speak now. So I'm not being funny, TV licence. I got a letter this morning saying that an investigation has started because I haven't contacted you. Well, you know, I rang you yesterday and you didn't answer. So you need to ring me back. How about that one, eh? Because I don't need it.
The BBC wants to charge you to watch Netflix. That's right. The least watched, least trusted and most tone-deaf broadcaster whose presenters suggested over half of the British people were racist for voting for Brexit. Yeah, that BBC. They want you to pay to watch something you've already paid for. Imagine buying a burger at McDonald's and then the bloke from the BBC walks in and says, "That'll be £169.50, please, for absolutely nothing. We're living in a clown world. Your politically incorrect common sense commentator here, and today we're dragging the BBC, Lisa Nandy and the government for launching the most pathetic stealth tax this country's seen in decades. They want to slap you with a license fee just because you watch streaming services like Netflix or Disney Plus, not the BBC, not iPlayer, not live TV. Nope, just because you dared to stream anything in 2025. Here's the new insanity being baked into the 2028 BBC Charter. If you watch any streaming content, you might be forced to pay a BBC license fee, even if you never touch the BBC. Why? Because habits have changed. Translation: we've lost viewers, so now we're mugging everyone who moved on. Let's be clear, you pay for Netflix, you pay for Disney Plus, you pay for Amazon Prime, and now they want you to pay the BBC for the privilege of watching something you already paid for. That's not a tax. It's a hostage demand. This is like buying a cinema ticket and then being invoiced by ITV for popcorn you never ate. It's like being fined by a bus company for walking. Lisa Nandy thinks this is modernizing public broadcasting. No, Lisa, this is highway robbery with subtitles. The BBC is the least watched, least trusted, and most tone-deaf institution in the country. They push diversity quotas, climate hysteria, and guilt-ridden documentaries. And they expect you to fund it, just because you're using the internet. It's not about fairness, it's about desperation, propping up an irrelevant media dinosaur with your wallet while calling it public service. Let's face it, the BBC can't survive on merit anymore. So instead of competing, they're penalising you for choosing better content elsewhere. They've become the partner who got dumped 10 years ago and is still turning up to your house asking for petrol money. The BBC isn't trying to evolve. They're trying to force you to pay for their collapse. A failed business model propped up by guilt, nostalgia and stealth taxation. So here's where we're at. You pay for streaming. Then you pay the BBC to stream. What? Their own failures? You don't watch them. You don't need them. And yet they've decided you owe them money anyway. This isn't about supporting journalism. It's about bailing out a state media machine nobody wants. If you're tired of being taxed for breathing, streamed for paying, and insulted for thinking, like, share, follow, and subscribe right now. Join the rebellion, because if we don't stop this nonsense, next they'll be taxing us for turning off the telly.
Sorry, what? Sorry, what are you doing?
From High Court Enforcement.
Okay, and what do you want?
So obviously you owe £1,328.56p.
Yeah.
Right? Because obviously unpaid TV licence.
Okay.
Obviously I've come round here to collect the payment in full, or we remove goods up to the value of the 1,300.
Okay, so why are you coming to the side of my house, opening my window?
Because if there's an open window, we're allowed to gain access to the property, sir.
So you're saying that you legally can climb through my window?
That's exactly what I'm saying, yeah.
But you can't though.
Can you just come open the door, please, sir?
Come
and open the door.
Come open the door for what?
To come and speak to me.
Okay, but
I'm not shouting you for a window.
I've not got a TV, so why am I going to pay for a TV license?
Okay, alright, well you do have a TV.
How do you know I've got a TV?
You've already walked around your building, I can see one in your living room.
Guys, does anyone pay for TV licenses anymore? Like, I keep getting letters like, act now, or we're gonna come visit you, we're gonna come scare you. Like, am I gonna pay for a TV license, what, to watch BBC? The place where they cover up nonsense. Covered up Jimmy Savile, covered up that Welsh nonce presenter that had all PDF file stuff on his phone. Am I gonna support that? No, I'm not. No, I'm not. So, I just don't like the scaremongering. Oh, we're gonna come find you. Like, what is this about? It's so controlling, like the government. Like, they should not allow TV licenses anymore. This should be a thing of the past. When I've spoken to Americans, they think it's insane that we have to pay a TV license for one channel. So if the BBC didn't exist, would we be paying for a TV license? So yeah, what do you guys think? But I'm not paying for my TV license because I don't watch live TV. I watch YouTube and TikTok. Like, BBC and all that is a thing of the past for like the next generations.
Hands off my pension, Rachel Reeves. If you've missed this, a bunch of pension providers have just signed up to put 10% of our pension funds into private equity, 5% of which needs to go into UK stocks, voluntarily for now. Now, on the surface, this might sound patriotic, support the UK economy, invest in British businesses, etc. But I'm not happy, and here's why you shouldn't be either. Your pension isn't a national fund that can be dipped into for growth targets. It's your money. And pensions should be invested in whatever gets you the best outcome, whether that's UK stocks, global tech, or even cash, depending on your life stage. Investment decisions should be about transparency and what's right for you, and not political pressure or feel-good headlines. The truth is that private markets, which this UK equities push includes, can be expensive, opaque, and hard to get your money out of when you need it. That's fine for some investors, but pension schemes should choose assets because they make sense and not because someone in government nudged them. Now, I'm not against UK investment, but I am for making sure that your pension is run in your best interest and not someone else's agenda. I've spent countless hours analysing fees and performance in order to choose the best pension that can potentially provide me with the most growth. So, yeah, hands off my pension, Reeves. Oh, and if you want to check your pension's performance, go to the link in my bio.
Hey guys, are you a pensioner and retired? Would you like to go back to work? Didn't think so. Well, according to Rachel Reeves, she said it would be good if some pensioners went back to work to help the economy. So she takes the winter fuel payment away from pensioners, and she wants pensioners to help her and the economy. Does that sound fair to you? Why the hell would pensioners want to go back to work and pay tax? Why the hell would they want to go back to work and help the Labour government? It is just madness. But Rachel Reeves said it wouldn't just help the economy, it would help pensioners to get some more money. Like, you know, increase the pension. Then pensioners will get more money. Give them the winter fuel payment. What is this government trying to do with pensioners? No pensioners want to go back to work if they don't have to. They are pensioners who do go to work because they have to try and pay the bills. But to come out and say pensioners can help the economy is absolutely shocking. Let me know if you're a pensioner and retired, and if you're willing to go back to work to help the economy. Let me know, guys.
The UK may be one of the worst countries for innovation, growth, private equity firms, and startups in the modern first world countries. So the government keeps trying to push these pension funds to allocate a percentage of their portfolios to these startups and private businesses instead of public stocks. But I swear there are so many crappy zombie companies in the UK now that I'm just waiting for all these pension funds to have 2% allocation in an AI, SaaS, blockchain, non-profit, fund-raised VC company.
Could you live on a state pension? Pensioners need a living wage to survive. But if you are under pension age, I would like to know if you could survive on a UK pension. The state pension rate of £221 a week is one of the lowest in Europe. With the high cost of living, the government expects pensioners to live on nearly half of the national basic living wage of nearly £21,000. Now, how is that fair? People on minimum wage are struggling on the basic national living wage. So how can the government expect pensioners who've just had their winter fuel payment removed survive? Pensioners have most of the same living costs as single people on the basic national living wage. Pensioners must pay for food, fuel bills, water bills, rent, and much more. Due to how pensioners are struggling, millions of pensioners are being forced to work full or part-time to pay their bills. The government need to act now and stop more pensioners going into debt. Already more than 34% of pensioners are in debt of around £7,000. Millions of pensioners are not eating enough food, which is causing health problems. And more pensioners are not heating their homes during winter due to the costs. So, why is it fair that pensioners have to struggle when they have worked all their lives? And when are the government going to give pensioners their winter fuel allowance back and give them a living wage? Please leave your comment below if you think you could live on a state pension.
So Rachel Reeves today has refused to rule out hiking taxes that pensioners pay on their pensions. So she got rid of winter fuel payment for an awful lot of pensioners that may only be £1 or £2 over the threshold of pension credit, so they can't afford their winter fuel. And now she won't even rule out hiking tax on their pension. Not going to tax workers, but we're going to tax the vulnerable. Great. Good old Labour. Here we go.
Very important news out yesterday for those of us expecting to get a state pension. Up until now, the age for a state pension has been 67 years old. Now, a piece of work has been done that has uncovered that there is not enough money in the pot to support people retiring at 67 anymore. It means it could be that the state pension age gets risen up to 71 years old. An additional 4 years, that could just be the beginning of things to come as well. It could go higher than that. In reality, I think we're going to end up in a position, by the time I retire anyway, that's going to be means tested, and a significant amount of people that have contributed for decades are not going to be receiving a state pension. Now, if you're close to that age, I don't know if this is going to go ahead and happen or not. Time will tell. You'll have to go through obviously a number of different processes to get this implemented. In the UK, typically, as well, when these things happen, we just tend to roll over and accept it rather than start ripping the streets apart like they do in certain European countries. What does this mean? Well, I've never anticipated getting a state pension anyway. I've not included it in any of my calculations whatsoever. I am looking at my private pension primarily, which I can take from 57 years old, of course, and also my investments that I do through my stocks and shares ISA. So now is as good a time as any to get started with that.
Rachel Reeves is now gambling with your pensions. Yes, to the tune of £50 billion. Not her pension, not the MP's gold-plated inflation-proof pensions, yours, the pensions of ordinary hard-working Brits. This isn't policy. This is a casino bet on the future of your retirement. And it's terrifying. You're politically incorrect, common-sense commentator here. And today, we're tearing into Labour's latest economic fantasy, where Rachel Reeves is using your life savings as political poker chips to try and cover up the economic disaster she's already unleashed. Here's the brutal truth. Reeves has bullied 17 of the UK's biggest pension funds into pumping £50 billion into high-risk UK projects. Social housing, green energy, unlisted businesses, all the shiny progressive buzzwords. And if it all goes belly up, it's your pension pot that takes the hit. The Treasury's growth forecasts are based on 17% returns. 17%. Even the Labour-friendly Guardian called that adventurous. In the real world, we call it fantasy maths. Let's not pretend this is new. Labour's history of raiding pensions goes back to Gordon Brown's stealth tax in 1997, costing British savers over £100 billion. Now Reeves is trying the same con in broad daylight. Except this time, it's worse. She's weaponizing your pension to plaster over her own failures. Her job's tax-wrecked employment. Her spending spree-choked growth. Now she's shaking down pension funds to plug the holes. Even Trump's former farming chief can see how reckless this is. And that's from a country not exactly famous for fiscal restraint. This isn't investment. This is state-sponsored theft of your future. Scottish widows had the guts to say no, warning that pensions should focus on returns, not politics. But where are the rest, lining up for their political brownie points while gambling with your retirement? This is a catastrophic gamble. If these risky bets flop, it won't be Reeves who pays. It'll be British pensioners staring at smaller pots, working longer, retiring later. And by then, she'll be long gone. On to her next job, writing books about bold economic leadership. Reeves wants you to believe this is backing Britain. In reality, it's backing Labour's economic incompetence with your hard-earned savings. It's reckless, it's dangerous, and once again, the British public are footing the bill. If you enjoy and get value from my content, please subscribe on the link below to support me and join the community. We'll keep exposing these dangerous games before they bankrupt your future.
State pension's not enough. Can you live on £10,000 a year? Back in the day, we had final salary schemes, which pay a guaranteed income in retirement until you die. Now we've just got a pot of money. We're living longer and longer in which to make that pot of money last. Most of us can't afford financial advice to help us make that pot last. We're not saving enough into our pensions.